Ah, fucking hell. Geez a bit of fucking breathing room, you cunt, you man. Right. The boys and the birds and the bees and the trees, and I've fucked my knees. But that's been a while, innit? Welcome back to Premeditated Patter. That's the theme tune. Hopefully by the time you're watching this video, that wee theme tune would have played with a wee segment, me running about like a dick, kidding on I'm chugging. And if it's no, then Ryan Arnott, you're a failure. You failed me. You failed the podcast. You failed the fans. Most importantly, you failed yourself. But it's been a while, innit? I've missed yous. Well, it's been a while since you've watched me talking shite. It's not been a while since I've been talking shite. Fuck, could do with a break, to be honest. Yum, go getter. Juice. Shouldn't have put that out there. Free advertising. Nah, I'm not too bothered about advertising for Aldi. Rather advertise for them than their fucking Swedish bras, Lidl. Every time I go there, it gets a little bit worse. Pardon the pun. But what's the fucking deal with the fruit and veg in there? It fucking shit. It goes out of date in like a day. It goes out of date. Quick. It's like a fucking time machine. You ever seen that? I watched that film, Old, M. Night Shyamalan. Basically, all these fucking no-well cunts go to a beach and they accelerate their aging process, so they turn old. Like it's like 7 years is like a day on this beach. Mate, I think fucking the fruit and Lidl has went to this beach, then ended up in my fridge, man, because it's mouldy within about 24 hours. It's fucking disgusting. No, I mean, I like how, what I know the best thing about it is, Lidl, they don't put a sell-by date on its fruit or veg. Have you noticed that? It must not go out of date. Fuck's sake. Can I go out of date if it's all due out of date when you sell it, eh? Bastards. That must be their get-out clause, isn't it? Swedish bastards. No, I'm sorry, I take that back. I don't hold any grudge against any Swedish or that. Unless you're the guy who owns Lidl, then fuck you. You Swede fuck. Your fucking fruit's no sweet, is it? Aye. Sweetish. You're arsish. But it's been a while. I'm guessing you're wondering why I've got this trusty wee fucking ankle bracelet on, eh? I'm a trendsetter, no. There's too many people kicking about with tags in their wrists. I'm the first guy to kick about with one in my ankle. Nah, it's a fucking governed piece of jewellery down here anyway. But I'll take you back to the start. Obviously, the last podcast I done with Paul McLendon was in this room. In this seat, well, not in this seat, but in this corner of the room. You'll see it had a wee bit of decor to it. I've coloured it up. I've got a nice red one-seater. Because that seat I was using before, it was the corner of my corner couch, so I had to reassemble that jigsaw. My bra was good enough to use this one. So it's perfect. But no long after the Paul McLendon podcast, I was up at court. It was the start of 20th of May, odds. I was up for something happened 3.5 years ago. Basically, long story short, I was a mad raving coke kid at the time. I was in about $5,000 of debt, doing mad stupid shit, old cunts don't know that. And I was also a charity fundraiser at the time. So at this point in time, I used to fucking steal shit out of shops. Just fucking, because so I had more money to fucking spend on gear. Nah, I'm kidding, I never paid for gear. Always bumped cunts. But in this one fateful morning, it was February 2018, I went into Morrison's, the Locust, and I tried to swipe 2 bottles of tequila and a meal deal. And the cunt must have been watching us in the camera. And he's basically chased us out the shop. And as I've got away from him, he's grabbed my bag off me. And I've ran in to see the sliding doors. If you've ever been in Morrison's, it's the sliding doors that would take you to where the taxis sit. And I went to run it. There was one sliding door to the right was open, the one wasn't open, and I went for the one that wasn't open. This is just a fucking kind of criminal armour. I get caught in the doors, this cunt's get the bag. Get the bag off me, And then he grabbed my jacket and I fucking took it off. I was like a lizard fucking shed, or a snake shedding its skin. He's getting it off me, fake watching that off his and that was all over the place, and I get off. And and I was like, right, I'm fucked, because it was actually on my way to work, and in the bag was my work ID, fucking you name it, everything, and there was a Stanley in it, a lot back Stanley. So I was like, I'm not going to work now. I'm not, because if you go to work when you charity fundraising, see if you don't get your ID, they can't print it off that day, so you're as well not getting in. But it was one of the ones I tell you, ripped the cunt with the job. I was a bit of an arsehole at the time. Know what I mean? I was some boy, but I was an arsehole of some boy. I was some arsehole boy. Sounded a bit weird, didn't it? But at the time, I just fucked off, and then I never went in, and then obviously that job was fucked, so I just decided to go on a bender. Because I lost my house keys and all, so I was fucking locked at the house. They got my house keys were in the bag, and everything. No, I made a fucking, see, you understand my thought process at the time. So that was 2018 February then, but I never get lifted till like fucking 2 seconds to fuck about with this mic. I wish this mic would just stay with me. 2 seconds, He's alright, he's just go and have a wank or something now whilst I fuck about with this mic, But here, come back for the wank, come back! You're back. Hope that was a quick jug. Nah, kidding on, but I'm back. So, basically, where was I? I ended up going in a fucking bender. Oh, usual, get back in the house like Monday morning. This was a fucking Friday. Then, I didn't think the police were looking for us until they were looking for me. And they never managed to. I evaded capture for about a year. Then, I remember I came back the day I get fucking in jail. I was rough as fuck. It was a Monday. I'd been working on it. I'd kind of sorted my shit out to a degree. And by this point, this was about a year later, 2019 or something. I was scaffolding. So obviously I was using a lot more fucking drugs to do that shite of a job. But I was back doing a scaffolding, and I ended up on it the weekend. Whatever, I can't mind what I done at the weekend, but it was a Monday, so I think I was on it the Sunday, because the Monday I was fucked. But I made work. So I went into work, blah, 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 all that shite, and then when I've got home, like, thank fuck that day's done. So I went and get myself a takeaway. The shops are like, where I stayed in Cardonald. The shops, the back shops, if anybody's any regulars, any natives watching. The back shops were on the next street from my dad's house. So I went to the shop, and I came back, pure rough, got my takeaway, got all my munchies and that. And I've turned the corner, and I've seen the post van outside my house. My dad's and the two cotters like walking in the drive. So their back, I was at the corner like here, and they were there, but they had their back to us walking towards the house. So I've just turned around 360s and fucking pelted it, got off. Take away and all that, man, running with this fucking bag up the street. Go to fuck. Gave it like half an hour, then went back to the house like that, right? They'll not be back. So I went and munched my munch and all that, fucking crashed it. And I woke up about 9 o'clock at night, and I heard the door going, looked out the window, and the fucking post van was outside. I'm like, for fuck's sake. And they were like, right, we're breaking into the door. We're breaking in. They've ended up breaking in. They've ended up fucking breaking in. My dad, I was like, I was the answer on the door for fucking love my money. My dad's ended up waking up. My fucking dad would fucking sleep through the Holocaust, honest to God. It's woke him up, so you can imagine the sound. He's got, I'm going right with pure hard on and all that. Fucking hair all over the place, pair of tights. He's ended up opening the door. And they've came in and all that shit, and I'm like, he asked me to jail, so I've just kind of given myself up. Remember one of the posts saying to my dad, your son has been evading justice. I calm down, Judge Red, fuck's sake. Fucking done with a shoplifting. So I get to jail, get taken to the police station, then I usual shit. Taken in there and all that, then I get taken to court. And I'm like, I'm fucked, because I've got previous for when I was 17. I got a fucking 4.5 years when I was 17 for a serious assault. So I've got quite bad previous in the eyes of the law. I'm a good cunt, but really. So I was like, I'm fucked, because it was a blade, there was a lot back they were doing with. So I went up, my lawyer was kind of like, you're fucking fucked. But I went into court, and as luck would have it, it was a travelling judge. And if to most people that might not mean anything, but attendant that's ever been through the courts, a travelling judge usually means a judge that doesn't give a fuck. He's travelling, he's only there for the day, he's not like a stable of the Glasgow Sheriff Court. Maybe he'll go to Glasgow Sheriff one day, Falkirk the next. He's He's kind of like an agency judge to a degree, if that help you understand it better. So basically, they don't give a fuck. You're up in front of a hangway judge, a travelling judge. Luck's usually on your side. So I walked in the PF, the wee healthy cows. It's always the wee healthy cows that are the fucking pure cows. See, in terms of like the PFs and that, smiled at me and all. I was like, I'll have to give her one. Like, she tried to give me more than one. She tried to give me a fucking 140 days cow. Pure smile and heavy try to shaft us. All the usual patter. Danger to the public, all that pish. Danger to fucking Morrison's fucking shells. But I've ended up fucking getting bail. That fucking result, because for about a year I was like that, man. Pure anxiety, stress, and all that. I was puffing green, so imagine how paranoid I was like that. I think the cotters are coming to the door any minute. So that was eliminated. I was out in bail, just didn't need to go into Morrison's, which was a result because they're fucking robbing bastards. Bit rich come for me, but I know. But so that was me out in bail. That was probably about August, July 2019. Then it get dragged on to like the following year. Then COVID happened, so it get kind of abandoned. All the cases, and I'm like, I was fucking rubbing my hands like, yes, I'm not hearing for this again. Then I came September odds, it was like I got a fucking letter for court. The courts have, we've managed to get our finger out our arse, and you're still getting fucking prosecuted, mate. You and the rapist, the shoplifters and the rapists used it at the top of our fucking agenda. So so I ended up getting taken to court for it, and it just dragged on, and ended up taking it through trial. And long story short, I don't want to go into the fucking pure details of the trial and all that shit, but I get fucking found guilty. I was expecting it not proven. I was expecting it that much. I'd actually written a sketch and a song, which I was intending on putting on Facebook the day I got it. I was planning to go for a sunbed and everything. Then, like the day before, I get my verdict. I get like redundancy pay out of my work, like a granddad, and I'm like, the stars are aligning. This is happening for me. And I went up and I get fucking found guilty, didn't I? Fucking bastards. Scum. No, but then the judge, pure turn. She was a so wee nice lady. Oh, by the way, this and that. I turned into a midden bitch quite quickly. She turned into a cow quicker than the fucking blueberries turned to fucking dust that came from Lidl, man. She turned that quick, you think she didn't have a fucking expiry date with the rest of her fruit and veg. She's a Lidl judge. But she turned like fucking painting a wall. But she just turned into a pure bitch and like and mentioned my previous and all that shite. My last convictions for 2010. I was 17. 17 and I was 18. But for my 18th birthday, I get 4.5 years. Gen up, true story. But that was my last sentence. Well, not my last sentence, but my last conviction. So I pure dragging it up, mate. I don't give a fuck. Big fat bastard. So end up going like that. I was out in bail, so as you say, I get bailed 2019, so I was up May 2021. 2 fucking years I was in bail. And then like that, remanded. They said guilty, I was like guilty, then went remanded. I'm like, remanded? Handcuffs on me, dragged out. Even the fucking, and this is the worst thing, any cunt that's ever been remanded or get the jail or anything, is when it's even you're sitting in the dock and it's going up, right, you can either get remanded or sentenced, the judge is pondering, there'll be a G4S guy or GOM, whatever the fuck they call them, and they'll be sitting next to you. So if the day, let's say you do get remanded, you can't fucking just jump out of the dock and get to fuck. They need to be there to either to handcuff you and take you away, and if you get out, they'll just leave you. So this cunt's cuffed us the minute I've get remanded and took through the door, and he says to us, and it's the worst thing ever, he's like, I fucking thought she was letting you away there, I didn't think she was going to remand you. Gonna no say that, mate. So I am taking down fucking to the cells, and by the way, this is like COVID and all that, mask and all that shit. Next thing I know, I'm in this fucking cell, see across for the desk, down the stair in the sheriff court. I'm in there, gutted, getting my Viagra and everything taken off, is broken. I was just like, what the fuck? What has happened here? Know what I mean? I was a kicking of stones, man, so I was sitting gutted for about half an hour. Then it was, your boss was happening with this Addy boss, all that shit. So I had to join in. What's happening with this bar bus? And I knew they've changed it. Well, they'll wait till there's so many people getting back to Berlin before phoning the bus. Dial a bus. cheers mate, so I need to wait in some other arsehole. Eventually came to it about half an hour to come and get us and put us in the bus. I was fucking gutted, honest to God. It was, because you see, I think I just built myself up that much that I was getting away with it. I was like, fuck's sake. And I was thinking about all this, so I was doing my podcast, everything was going well for us, and I was like, you fucking bastard. Worst thing about it or not, it was a fucking scorcher of a day. And I was dressed in black, ready to fucking take the smack. But I put in the bus, and the bus was a fucking hot box and a half. And I was taking us to Berlin and I'm gutted. And there was a mad, let's see, you're on the bus, there'll be the guy driving it, and then through the back, where there's like wee separate wee compartments, are fucking about fucking this wide and about this long, and it's where you sit. So you get put in this wee, it's like a wee fucking coffin, a vertical coffin, there's about 12 of them. You get it, the door gets locked, and down at the bottom like a screw will sit in case obviously you need it, and if you fucking shat yourself to death or something like that, and they need to come and fucking wipe your arse for you. And basically what had happened was, the wee screws like that, like, she had YouTube on her phone and she had the aux cable plugged in. She's like, get a request in, fuck's sake. I swear to God. So I couldn't ask her to put on Jordan McCann, Fire in the Booth. And obviously if you've listened to that, it's like these lyrics like, I'm going to set out the system, understand the meaning. So I was like, no, what? Fuck the system. Fuck the system, mate. Fuck it. So at that moment I had the idea, I was like, I'm going to write a tune called Don't Let the Crown Get You Down. And that's just, on that bus, I was like, this got to be a tune. When I release it, I've not got a fucking clue, because when I get remanded, see, when I get found guilty, the judge was talking about, like, this is a maximum of 5 year, and see if you take it through trial, you don't get a discount. And they tend to, see, because you've took it through trial, wasted taxpayers' money, wasted the court's time and all that shit, and been found guilty, you tend to get fucking hammered. And with my previous, the way she was going on, she was a high court judge as well. I had a high court conviction, so she was, I was like, fuck's sake, my arse was making buttons. So I get taken up to Berlin, man, and then I was like, fuck. End up in the dog boxes, basically, it's the fucking reception. Honestly, God, you want to put dogs in it. I turned up there, and it was just going through all the part. The bastards put his man, it's like a dog, it's like a fucking, the same size as, it's like a vertical coffin, like a dog kennel. Fucked us in there. And forgot about us. What I think they forgot about is, see, it's like a big door with like a wee small fucking, a wee plastic slat about that size, but it's up. So see, if you're sitting down, you can kind of see it if you're looking in, but if you're fair back, so see if you're lying your fucking head in your hands like that was fucking broken. They've obviously not seen you. So I never seen us, so they eventually seen us when I was standing up. It was about a fucking hour I was in there for. And they would explain the routine to us and all that. What was going on in the jail, see, because of COVID, you need to wear your mask constantly. See, if you're known yourself, you need to be wearing your mask constant. I've never worn a mask as much in my fucking life. It was insane. I felt like Jim Carrey. But I ended up getting taken to the first night centre. So, like, obviously, if Andy's never been in the jail before, like in Berlin, there's a thing called the first night centre. So it's like, they'll take you to like a wee section, and you go in there for a night, usually. And they'll fling you in there until they can decide, right, what hall they're going to send you. So you've got like A hall, B hall, C hall, D hall, and E hall's where all the sex offenders are. So I was barred for E hall because I fucking bumfucked a cunt with a spoon. So when I went to D hall, I found out that you do a 10-day quarantine instead of the 1 day. So D hall, it's like a concentration camp almost. I say that. It's not the worst hall you could be in, but I was like, at 10 days in here, you fucking kid me on, because you can't really go to the gym. You don't really get to mingle with anybody else. You're kind of just locked in this wee fucking bit. It's kind of like a wee dungeon out the road. So I ended up getting popped in there, get dubbed up with a boy Tam for Clyde Bank. Aye. Try to think he's second name there to give him a shout out. I wonder if he's out. Last I seen he was still in, but old Tam, he was just in before me, so he was bolting bunk. He wasn't expecting to get to jail as well, so we shared that. But I realised I was back in Berlin, because when you get remanded or get to jail, you go into the jail, they give you 30 pence in your phone. So see, there's a phone at the end of the section, it's kind of like a fucking pay phone. You type in your jail number and you type in this PIN number they give you, and you have so many numbers you can dial, so you need to add these numbers to a list. Because I'd been in previous sentences, I had all my numbers for my last sentence still saved. So I was like, I need to phone some cunt. usually I'll get my lawyer to fucking phone somebody or that, but I wanted to get a hold of somebody just to fucking talk to some kid. I was like, "What, to fucking have a rant, to have a fucking whinge." But aye, so I says to them, we go to our dinner, man. Oh, fucking, it was a Thursday, so it was takeaway night. I say takeaway night. Doing the cooks, they make their own version of a takeaway, so it's a Berliner kebab, if you can imagine that. A Berliner chicken curry, a Berliner fish supper. So aye, pish supper, me like. I opted for the fucking pish fish. I usually get brown sauce with it, man. I think they'd fucking welded the brown into the chips because they were fucking manky. And obviously I'm a big guy, I like my food. So you couldn't have fed a fucking mouse with this shit. The fucking curries, you need a fucking set of water wings to eat the curry, it's that watery. The kebabs were gone, so you never even fucking get to mention a kebab, so I took the fish and chips. Went to sell, munched it. Oh, didn't have a knife, didn't have any cutlery, didn't have a pillar or nothing, no duvet. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, and then I was like, welcome back to Berlin, man. Welcome back. You don't get fuck all. That's the only good thing about Berlin. Everybody gets treated equally, because nobody gets fuck all. So I'm like, fuck's sake, right? And then see in Berlin, like, see when you're locked up in your cell, dubbed up, they call it. You get a wee intercom on the wall, and it's got a button that says call or intercom on it. It's 2 buttons. You press the call button, that's if your fucking co-pilot's fucking had a heart attack and fell in the toilet brush arse first, and it's an emergency. That's the call button, so you press and go deed, and that'll ring for usually about 3 hours before some kid comes to your door. If you hit the intercom, you can usually go for a sleep and wake up and it'll still be ringing. That rings right to their desk, but I don't know if they've got tinnitus or they've got a fetish for ringing noises, I don't know, but they'll sit at that desk and let that thing ring. Spit down. So I've rang this thing to try and get fucking a duvet, to get a pillow, to get cutlery to eat with. And they've eventually came round, see, during the evening to give their dinner, they came round with a trolley, like 15-20 minutes later, came round with the plates and this big bucket, this big black bucket on a trolley. They'll get like one box, so you get a plastic plate and plastic cutlery. See the shit you used to get if you went to primary that and you go to the wee breakfast club and they would give you like plastic cutlery. That's the kind of shit you'd get. But the plates, they don't give you plates. You get the plate with the dinner, then you need to give the plate back after you use it. But obviously cunts bump them. Cunts will bump anything. In a jail especially. But so they've come in with the trolley and I'm like, right, can I jump out and use the phone? Like, it's dub up time, woke up time. This is like 5-6 o'clock. I remember the reception saying that, because it's usually in the jail. And the jail wakes up at 9 because of COVID. Like the staff only do one shift, so if I can explain it. But before, pre-COVID, you'd get a shift that would start at like 6, 7 in the morning and it'd finish at 1. Then you get the back shift, it would start at 1 and finish at 9. So you had 2 separate shifts. Because of COVID, they didn't want that many people mingling outside and coming into jail. So they had one shift now. It started at 6 and finished at 6, 12-hour shifts. I just fund this out when I go there. So when they do the dinner, that's your door locked for the night to the next day. You don't get fuck all. You don't get fuck all anyway, but you get less than fuck all. So you get less than fuck all due to COVID. So less than fuck all was what I got. And I just sat that night. My co-pilot, he must have been fucked. He went right to his bed and I was just sitting like that. The telly's a wee shitey thing like that. Fucking big fish, wee fish cardboard box thing. The thing flickering and all that. So you've got Fivo. I don't even watch the telly. And so I ended up putting, and plus you don't get a remote. You don't have a remote. And the channels aren't listed. So you need to just flick through it and see what's on. And I think it was that fucking, I despise this program, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I fucking hate it. I think it's just purely because the jail. It's that and Big Bang Theory. Just annoying American shite comedy. Fucking hate it. But it was that, then I would end up sticking on Transformers. This is how shite the telly is. I fucking hate Transformers and all. I think it's just because of the jail, because it's always on, because that's the only channels you've got, and it's always on Film 4. So I was just like, this is pish. This is pish. So I just sat and I was like, fucking it. I've never been so gutted to get to jail in my life. Every other time I've been like, fuck it. But this time, I don't know. I think just because I set myself up for a fall. Plus as well, last time I was in the jail was 2016. I was a bit fucking gutted with that, but I was a bit of an arsehole at the time. So that kind of, anyway, I felt it now, but I was like, no, I'm a changed guy. I'm not really the jail type anymore. Never was the jail type, but I was more net, like, know what I mean? I was just more I kind of done on laid back, fuck knows. I was just like, fuck's sake, man. So I'm going to try and fucking get myself out of this somehow. So I was like, fuck it, I'll write the judge a letter. A letter just saying everything I was doing, my podcast, doing the acting with supply and demand, doing my music, I had my own studio, because I didn't move, this was a podcast studio, I had my own studio in the Barras. That's the one where I done the previous Premeditated Patters for. So I just basically said all that, grovelling like fuck, but I was like, fuck it, man, it's worth a try. And I didn't have a guitar or nothing, so usually I'd sit and play a guitar, that would take my woes away, but I didn't have one, so I just started writing mad raps, just started writing rhymes and shit like that. I like rhyming and that. And eventually, obviously, eventually, obviously, as the days go on and that, you kind of take to it, then you go to exercise, you get to meet cunts and all that. And because we were all doing the 10-day isolation, so what was happening basically, D-Hall used to be the only first night centre. Because of COVID, they had to turn a flat in C-Hall. So there's 4 flares, they get called flats. So they turn one of these flares into a first night centre in C-Hall. So when you've got one, say D-Hall's doing get a first night centre in it, when you've got people doing like a 10-day isolation in there, they've came in off the street. Like, you can't have the cunts coming to like 9 days, been in there, then putting a cunt that's just in the door and wearing them. It's fucking defeats the purpose of it. So whilst cunts are doing that 10-day isolation, they're coming to the end of it, they'll be putting people in C-Hall, then they'll just switch between them. So you end up meeting people, ends up a wee group of you collecting in the D-Hall, so end up a good few cunts, and they're all brand new, a good couple of boys and that. All in the same boat, all demanded, all like that, fuck. Gotta get shafted, fucking know it's the same piss, you're all taught about what you're in for. Well, you get out, you don't know if you'll get out, or the lawyer's saying this and that. Usual shite, well, what you in for? Oh, I know this cunt, no, I do this and that. You do meet some of our roasters, man, but you do, there's a good few good cunts, I met. Plus, it was the summer as well, so we get exercise at like 2 o'clock every day. So usually did catch the sun, go out and bathe in the rays, man. It was decent, know what I mean? It was decent. That's decent in terms of fucking being in a jail. But I just ended up getting myself a book, get Mike Tyson's autobiography, start reading that. I love reading, I used to read when I was young. So I just get back into reading, just like that, fuck it, man. And just plodded away with it. Then the 10 days ended up coming up. And I went to C-Hall and that. Mate, I fucking hundreds of cunts, fucking all sorts of cunts that I knew. Cunts for like fucking Dungovin, cunts for fucking previous sentences, man. It was packing me cunts. And because of the backlog, because what they were doing was, during COVID, when the courts were all off, they weren't letting cunts out, they were just extending them. Let's say if you're doing a fully committal, you would do 4-month remand before you got up to get a sentence or whatever. This was getting extended to like a year now on remand for like fucking domestics and shit like that. So I usually do a year remand if you're in for a fucking murder or something, or fucking treason or some shit like that, but aye. So I remember when I got there, I was like, getting out to the exercise, and I was like, what the fuck is the matter with these cunts, man? These cunts are fucking fried. I was thinking, maybe it's the 12-month remands and all that. Fucking frying cunts nuts, dubbed up in the jail all that time. But then the penny dropped, and I realised they were all fried because we were all out their fucking nut. They were all full of that legal high, that fucking spice. That and tizzy, a tizzalam. Cunts put all out there, bush, man. You might have seen the fucking state of them. It was bad, man. Fucking every cunt was on it, smoking the exercise. It's like people say it's like getting stoned. It's fucking not like getting stoned, mate. It's fucking cunts are smoking fucking fish tank cleaner and that. Cunts are going into B&Q and getting like fly spray and spraying a fucking A4 sheet with it, writing on it, kid on its letter and sending it in. And cunts are ripping it apart, sticking it in a vape and smoking it. So they're smoking paper. It's mad, it's bizarre. Last time I was in the jail, it was all fucking pre-Gabas and Subutex. But you can't sniff Subutex anymore, they've changed it. So it's like glucose in it, see, before you could crush it up, make a powder. Basically, they give Subutex to like heroin users. and it would help. It would like basically if you were on Subutex, you couldn't take heroin. It just wouldn't work. I don't know what the science is behind it, but that's basically it. So what they were doing was people were getting it and they were holding it back, so they were basically swallowing it in front of a nurse, but they were managing to hold it back, fling it under their tongue or something, and they were taking it back and selling it to cunts, or crushing it up and sniffing it, and it's apparently give you a pure high, like a fucking as if you're taking gear. But they eventually fucking caught on to that, so they've started making it Subutex with glucose, so you can't crush it up. Cunts still find a way to stick it up their nose and then just wait till it dissolves. It's madness. It's ingenious the methods these cunts will take to take drugs. But aye, so that eventually got kind of stopped. So that's how the legal highs and your Tizlam kicks about. And if you don't know what a Tizlam is, it's basically fake Valium. So a spoonful of a Tizlam is equivalent to 10,000 Valium. That's how there's so many cunts trapped dead with a Valium. So aye, in the jail, cunts are fucking mad with it. Mad way it. You actually seen it. Cunts are taking this Tizlam and they're forgetting where they are. It's madness. They're forgetting they're in the jail. Like 3 days go by and it, like that. I heard a story of a guy. He took a Tizlam. He was on the third flat in B Hall, and he ended up arguing with the screws. Get lost his job on the pass, basically out cleaning the hall and that. Get papped up the stair with some other cunt, and then when it's wore off, he's realised what the fuck am I doing up here? Madness. But aye, so I was in CEO, I kind of use the jail as a kind of like detox to stay away from drugs. So I was smoking a lot of green and that before, and it was frying my fucking nuts, so I was like, I know what, detox and that. Usually you'd go to the gym if you're in a jail, but cause of COVID, let's thank fucking Lady COVID for this one, you were only getting to the gym like once a week, so they're taking a lot shorter numbers, so it was a fucking nightmare to get. You didn't get basically recreation, but they changed it to a thing called the Hub. So basically there's a library in Ballina, and you used to go down there and through the back, it was this kind of building, you'd walk in, the library would be on your right, to your left would be the radio station, the jail radio, barbed wireless. If you walk straight ahead, there'd be the B Hall rec room, C Hall, it's the same rec room, that shit, but aye, they changed it on and turned it into the Hub. So the Hub was basically the centre of the jail, so you'd have your library there, you'd have your pool tables, you'd have your phones and all that, you'd have the housing there, you'd have all these services. But I used to work my last sentence in Ballina, I used to work in the library. So I ended up knowing the two screws, Barry and Ewan down there. Brand new guys, really nice guys. I ended up talking to one of them on one day I was going to the Hub, and he ended up saying, we're starting to do podcasts and that, because obviously it dobbing off because of COVID, so we're just starting to get back in the swing of things, and they were saying I talked about doing podcasts. I was like, I fucking do a podcast outside. And he's like, well, if you get a sentence, get him to phone me and I'll get you done. So time I've ended up got to court, I've managed to get a few references. Shout out Johnny Collins, Gary Fraser, Kyle Brennan. If I've missed somebody, fucking shoot me down deed. I'll definitely mention it, but the three cunts done as a heavy, solid. I wrote as a wee reference. I wrote my letter. I get a social work report. That was another thing the judge said. Like, this is all kind of based on the social work report. The social worker that came up to see me was for Postal. Amazing. Basically, a social work report is basically, see if you get charged, convicted of a crime, and in the run up to getting sentenced, the judge will maybe adjourn it for 3 weeks, and you'll need to go and get a community background report, and basically go and see a social worker, and they'll basically go into your life, right? How was your childhood and all that kind of stuff, right? What's your previous offences? What do you do in your spare time? All that, just to get to know you as an individual. So the judge will get this report, and then before they give you a sentence, they'll use that and they'll go, right. So it kind of gives the judge an insight into the kind of person here. So that was what my kind of sentence was like riding on, what I was going to get, depending on what a social worker said. And sometimes people do get fucked. The social worker, depending on the social worker, could be an absolute cunt. And if they write you a bad report, you're fucked. The judge will hammer you. So I was kind of like, fuck. What's this cunt got to be like? But so she was for Postal, the woman. I fucking can't remember her name, but she was fucking brand new. I ended up talking to her. See if I'd have put a mic in the room, man, we'd have done a podcast. Just talk about all sorts of mad shit. Just going in and fucking solving the world's issues, man. I felt I was fucking in a kitchen sniffing gear. We're not doing a fucking report in Berlin. So that went well. So what time I was going up to court, I had the letter I wrote. I had these 3 character references. I had a belter, a social work report. So I had a lot riding on my side. If you compare it to a lot of people who go to court, not I mean, maybe not go much gone from that kind of stuff. So I went up in that, and this is probably about 17th of June. And I've went down to the court, the judge, and then she's like that, basically. Another thing as well, my fucking lawyer didn't, the day I was getting sentenced, my lawyer didn't turn up, some other cunt turned up. 2 seconds, my alarm's gone. Aye, so anyway, as I was saying, so the day I went up for sentencing, usually I thought, if you're coming for the jail, you'll be in the cells down the stair. And before you go up to the court, your lawyer will usually come see you, so you'll get taken out your wee cell and taken into the bit where the lawyers. It's just another wee cell, but they sit on one side of this plastic screen, you sit in the other. I've walked in, I'm like, look, this kind of was that to the screw, like, mate, this is the right, I think I'm in the wrong room. Cunt's like, no, he's like, no one mentioned my lawyer's name, don't want to sound like I'm bad mouthing with that, but he's like, he's busy with our case today, so it's me, it's fucking representing you, and I'm like, what? Fuck's sake, you kidding us on? So because my lawyer had actually turned out, it represented, my lawyer's making a big spiel, see, because the fact I was acting. My lawyer represented, see, Tommy Flanagan, see, Chibs, it's in Sons of Anarchy, or that Scottish guy you see in fucking all sorts of films, you don't know his name, he's got 2 tans in his face. My lawyer represented him, he got compensation for the tans in his face. And he says, it was after that, he went on to fucking do what he was doing, acting and all that shit. So he was making a big spiel. He's like, I'm going to go into court and basically make a comparison between the two of you, so he get a chance. Because he was a fucking nutter, that Tommy Flanagan. You know what I mean? So that was his lawyer. So he was basically going to make a comparison, like, look, he get a chance like we done with it. So I'm like, fucking, here we go in. So I've ended up turning up to court and this cunt's not even here. So I'm like, what the fuck? What's happening here, man? I'm doing the Tommy Flanagan spiel, fuck's sake. Huh? You know what I compare him to? A fucking mad nutcase that's got 2 tans in his face? A fucking Hollywood star? Nah, shite yourself. So he's ended up like that. Right, she's looking to sentence you, know that shit. And I was like, I fucking kind of accepted that fact. So I went into the court. He's got all my character references. So we went into the court, and the judge is like that. Basically says, she's like, listen, I've literally just been handed all these references. Like, if I'm going to need to take this into consideration, like, I'm going to need to go and read it. I can't just fucking skim at it. She's like, but I'll take it into full consideration. So I'm like that. Right, she's like, right, I'll adjourn for half an hour until I read this, then I'll get you back down. I've get sent back to the cells, like, fucking here we go, man. I'm like, she's going to be pissed off. Because she was a big king, know what I mean? So I'm like, she's going to, I've come in here for a quick shift sentence, this cunt, get to fuck. Go to Domino's, get a pizza, and then I need to fucking read. And a Thursday, fucking what? That's what I thought she was going to be like. So I'm like, she ended up shouting us back, but like 10 minutes later, I'm like, fuck, she's read one line out and just went bush. Because I didn't pull any punches with my letter, know what I mean? I was just, you can imagine me writing a letter to a judge. Just imagine me writing a letter to a judge, a high court judge. I'll let your imagination do the talking for that. So I went back down. My lawyer's put up the big spiel, fair play to him. Well, I say my lawyer. My lawyer's lawyer. Fucking put up a good spiel, know what I mean? He done what he could do, see, to be honest with you. He had the cards he could deal with, know what I mean? He could only say so much. He wasn't a fucking magician. My lawyer must have been a magician, but he disappeared. But he's said, the usual spiel. Then she's like, basically, look, she's kind of says, listen, I've got a fucking duty here. Like, this is your 3rd conviction with a knife. Like, I've got a duty. I can't just let you out. She's made that pretty much clear. That she's like, what I will do, she's like, I'll show you leniency. You've got a lot going for you and that. She's like, so I'll impose a shorter sentence. So you've got like a prospect of pursuing it when you get back out. So she's like, for the shoplifting charge, she's like, I would have given you 8 months. Because I pled to the shoplifting, by the way, and I took the knife through trial. She's like, I'm going to give you 8 months and I'll reduce that to 6. And I'm going to run that concurrently. So if you've got 2 charges and they get ran, say I get like 6 months for one, 6 months for another, and they get ran concurrently, you're only doing 6 months. If you get ran consecutively, you're doing 12 months. So this like basically consecutively means one starts when the other ends. Concurrently means they run at the same time. She's like, I'm going to run that concurrently. So I just thought away, thank fuck. So I was worrying, I was like, because in case she consect me up, I was just, it's a fucking kick in the balls getting things out, it seriously is. And for the knife, I'm going to impose a sentence of 14 months. And I was pure like, And then that's when I realised, I was like, well, I counted it, and she backdated it to the day I got demanded, which was the 27th of May. So I worked out, I was like, it's 14 months, you do 7 months. I was like, I'm out in December. I'm out this year. Like, fucking yes. You know, like, and see, because he, in the run-up to it, I was like, every cunt will do this that's ever been on remand. Your heat plays fucking mind games with you. Seriously. You'll be sitting 1 minute like, yeah, I'm getting a result, man. Like, then the next minute you'll be like, I'm going to get fucking hammered. I'm doing about a fucking stretch here. And I was shiting myself because it was my third conviction with a blade. I had a serious assault with a blade in my previous. It was a high court judge. I had a high court conviction. Took it through trial. I had the full Monty when it came to getting hammered. So I was like, I was kind of thinking, I was like, I thought if I'd get 2 years, I'd have been getting a result. 2 years would have been a result. And at one point, I remember actually thinking, if I get counting and see if I go, because you do it, you go like that, right? Well, if I get 3 years, I'll be out, next July, or whatever the fucking date. You always like tell yourself, you try and work out your own date. And at one point, I thought, well, I was trying to figure out what I would need to be getting to still be out the same year, 2021. And I thought 14 months, and I was like, and I was sitting with tallying in my head, and I was like, mate, shut up, have a word with yourself. You're not getting fucking 14 months. Get out of your head. So when I get 14 months, I was fucking buzzing. Aye. Then I worked it out, and I was 27th December, and I was fucking buzzing, man. So I went back up and get fucked in B-Hall. Aye, so this was basically the kind of the icing on the fucking cake. The icing for fucking Lidl. It was very out of date. I just went back and like I immediately put in B-Hall, so that's all the sentence, and I get dubbed up with this cunt called Tusk. He had no front teeth. And this cunt, when I'm talking about people being on the legal, this cunt was fucked on it. He was out the next day, right? So this was the Thursday. Like the screw down at the desk went like, listen, I'll stick you in with some cunt. He's a smoker. See if you're a non-smoker, you don't get put in with smokers, and they try and keep them separate. But he's like, he's a smoker, but he's out tomorrow, so you might get like a wee run at it being in your cell. So I was like, right, no worries. I went in, this cunt, the gaff was a fucking shithole. It was a pigsty. It was fucking rancid. I walked in and it was just stinking and rotten and ugh. And this cunt, he's mad with the fucking legal, so he's sitting fucking chuffing away and all that shit, man. And he was out the next day and he was chasing a bit to smoke to get him through the night. He's like that to me, he's like that, the withdrawals. It's worse than coming off a smack, the withdrawals of this legal is. And he'd a phone. See, another thing as well, you might have seen it in the news, see, because of COVID, people weren't getting out to use their phones and that, because it was 24-hour lockdown. So the government invested like £3 million in giving every prisoner a mobile phone. So when I got in, you get it after like 3 weeks. So when I went in the jail after 2 weeks or something, I got a mobile after screws. But it wasn't like a mobile, it was like a Nokia. But the way they'd done it was it had an SPS SIM card in it. I think it was through BT, but see what it says, like Vodafone or 3G, it says SPS. And it's basically, you could only phone the same numbers it was on your jail phone. You get 300 minutes a month, 5 hours a month. Once it ran out, it ran out. And it would regenerate at the start of every month. Then see if you took the wee back off the phone, see where the battery was, it had like a void sticker on it. So if you ripped this sticker off, it would say void, and they'd know you've tried to tamper with it. So, but cunts were doing, cunts were just ripping the sticker off and taking the battery out and just fucking the rain SIM card in and just fucking using it. So I went in a cell with this cunt and he had his own phone. Well, he's had a jail phone, but his own SIM card in it. And it turns out he'd split up with his missus the night before. So I spent the full fucking night, the day I've just been sentenced, first full day of my sentence, listening to this cunt arguing with his missus on the phone, smoking spice. Aye. So thank fuck I had headphones, man, so I could listen to the radio. Fucking just stuck it in every time like that. Shut the fuck up. He's ended up. I didn't think the cunt was going to make it through the night. He didn't get any more legal, so what I know what he done. So in the jail, you don't get fags, you don't get roll-ups or that, you get vapes. So what he was doing, see the vape you would use to smoke the legal way, it would accumulate oils, just the same as like a bucket kit would. So what he was doing was, he went and got all his old wee cartridges that he'd been smoking the legal way, because he didn't have any left. And what he was doing was boiling the kettle, and see the kettle's in it, it's like a wee plastic thing, and he was putting the cartridge in, like, see the mouth of the kettle? It was like a wee plastic, so it wouldn't fall into the water, it would sit in the mouth, and the steam would come up. He was doing that and steaming it, so that the oil would start to liquefy a bit, and he'd scrape it onto a bit of paper, and then he'd put that paper in the vape and smoke it. That's what cunts would do. So he fucking ended up, he was doing that to keep him going, man, but you might have heard the cunt, man. I'm sitting tiptoeing about a gap. It was like, we get like cereal, bags of cereal, let's see, like a wee bag. It's like a bag you'd give some cunt a bit of green in, but it's got cereal in it, and that's what you get for your cereal. It's as if, and see the units where you put your clays, it's as if some cunt took these bags and just fucking bounced them into these units. It was fucking tea bags and all that, man. It was manky as fuck. I was looking at it, like my jaw was in the flare. In fact, it wasn't in the flare, my jaw was in the feet. My jaw was on my feet. Fuck's sake, if it was on my flare, it'd been black. Fucking state of the place. So that's fucking, what's I talking about now? So end, I've cleared a wee space myself, then I'm just sitting this cunt, pure fucking ready to choke, and he's in fucking sick and all that, man, fucking with these withdrawals. I've made it through the night, so is he. The two have miraculously made it through the night. Bayface cause of him. And the next day, he's been up fucking waiting that for like 6 in the morning and all that shit. And he's been up, the breakfast comes around, so the screws will come in with like the pass men, with the trolley, and with the cereal and all that shit on it. And that's what they'll do, they'll give you it, and you'll give you your milk and that. And that's where you say to the screws your requests. You'll say, what I put us down for the gym, what I put us down for fucking the hub, whatever else. Whatever you need after screws, that's the time you ask them. Any other time you just get fucking busy called. Get fucking dial tone when you hit the intercom. But this cunt's went up to the fucking trolley and see one of the pass men pushing it, man. He's fucking went up and requested a bit for a pipe off him. But right in front of the screws, it was piping. He's like, I fucking need a bit to get through, man. I was just looking at him like, what the fuck, mate? Cunt was up for a parole hearing that day. He was pure like that, mate. What the fuck are you doing? And man, this cunt sitting fucking pacing the gas, stinking, smelling. And I'm just like, I'm counting down the hours because you go out at 10 o'clock, see if you're just getting libbed. I'm counting it down so I can clean the place. I can't wait till this cunt, the minute that door hits his arse, I'm hitting these walls with a fucking sponge. But the cunts end up fucking, before you know it, like fucking half an hour before he gets out, he's fucking took a heart attack. So I go, hit that, he's like, hit that call button, he's fucking, his arm's going numb, he can't breathe. I'm like, fucking hit, so I've hit the call button. This is the notorious call button that gets fucking patched. One of the pass men have came to the door, same boy asked for the spice, like, what's going on, he's alright? I was like, mate, I think he's taking a heart attack. So he shouted the screws have come up, took him out his cell and that, put him at the window out in the hall, because in bar scene in the cells, it's like, not even a window, it's a fucking rectangle gap in the concrete, with like bars going across the way and up and down, then it's got a plastic fucking sheet in it, and a grill in it, and it's manky, it's like dissolved for all the cunts been spitting on it, and not menchies, it's fucking bogging. So that's your only source of oxygen. So they've opened them up and let him go to the end of the hall, and stand at a window and that shit, man. And then he's came back in 10 minutes later. He's like, they were trying to take us to the hospital, but I end up saying no. They were like, you're going to need to go and you get out. So he's eventually fucking get let out, thank fuck. Fucking belly stretchered out the cunt, man. And I was just like, right, and I just get stuck into the gaff. But it was the night he got out was the day of Scotland versus England. This is how confused the cunt was. He was fae Falkirk, but he stayed in Paisley. And before he was in Berlin, he got transferred to Kilmarnock, Bohus it's called. And he says he didn't like the Kilmarnock jail because it was quote unquote fully tukters. Aye, it was fully tukters. Cunt for Falkirk. Plus as well, he's mad about Chelsea, mad about it. Chelsea headhunters and all that shit. Had that tattooed in his leg. He says he was a football casual. He was saying, obviously got to the day of the Scotland and England game, and he was taught about, that was part of the reason he felt it was misses. He was taught about going down there, and he's like, I'll be fighting in that. But he's like, because of Chelsea, he'd be fighting with the Scotland fans. This is a Scottish guy for Falkirk that hates tukters and wants to fight with Scotland fans. Aye. Thank fuck that was only a night I was dubbed up with that cunt. Fucking Christ almighty. Imagine that. That'd have been a podcast in itself. That'd still been a nick. Nah, but anyway, so as time went on, I've got to know cunts in the hall, and it's fucking aye. And then I went and got a job doing the radio, get settled in that. Nah, it was good. I ended up just going down the radio and it was me and another boy, George Hunt, boy Feaster House, brand new George. Hopefully you're watching this, George. They're basically tasking us like, right, this is the kind of relaunch of Barbed Wireless, so it's down to you. So I was like, kind of, that was left to me to make a show and that kind of day podcast, put tunes together. So I was like, I just kind of left one kind of form of creating shit out here and just went into another one, which was good. So I was producing. I was using a program called Audacity. So it really prepared us. And I got down there and I took, it was like a duck to water. Then I was making shows, putting them together and that. Aye, man, I started getting jail famous. Because I was doing my sketches, but I was obviously writing them for radio rather than recording them what I do out here. So I was loving it. And eventually got a guitar and that shit, man. Aye, so I was like, this is a fucking doddle. I just plodded away with it, man. It was good. I was in a jail, but it was good. It wasn't the worst. I just ended up getting in that mindset. I guess, because I'm meditating and all that shit out here now. I was meditating in jail, and it just made it that much easier to deal with. See, every other sentence, I used to make it so hard myself. People like, oh, fucking how fuck, man, here, man, fucking pure down in the pure victim mindset. Oh, why is it always me? A fucking pure worse cunt. But this one, I was just like, no, what? Fucking take it, use it to your advantage. So that's what I did. So I just fucking worked in the radio, plodded away, went to the gym when I could get it, got a guitar, started fucking writing tunes, writing sketches, writing ideas, man. So I just used it to my benefit. I just used it as a fucking detox. Go to South everything. Didn't get me after coffee and chocolate though. You'd need to fucking fly me to the moon to do that. Fuck's sake, probably still find a fucking bit of chocolate stuck up my arse. Banked. Hot chocolate. So as time went on, man, I've ended up, you can apply for the tag. So my lib date was Christmas Eve, but my tag date was the 8th of September. So I've ended up applying for that. That's what cunts will find out, see, because it's like a wee get out of jail free card almost. Every cunt's chasing it up, they're always on tape for it. But look, see the governors that kind of deal with it, they live the fucking life of Riley, man. You can never get a hold of them, and when you do, it's a pure once in a blue moon, and it's pure vague answers, and they don't get. It's the same fucking note. I mean, it's like Hermes or something, man. I think the governors work for Hermes. But so just applying for that, then it was one of one. Just went through all the processes, and eventually got the tag. I was fucking buzzing. They were all gutted in the radio station, man. They were happy for me, but they were gutted for the radio, and I was gutted for them because it was probably fell to fuck now without me at the helm. So I eventually get a tag and fucking get right back to it. Came back out, man. Got out 20th of September. And it felt weird, man. I get picked up for the gates and that shit, and it didn't feel real. It was weird. It felt weirder. I done 4.5 years when I was 17, so I done 3 years. So I get to jail when I was 17, get when I was 20. That felt more normal than it did getting out after that fucking 4 month I was in. Because see when you get the tag, you get told like the week, so see you get told, right, you've got the tag, you're getting out next week, so you get told like a week before, so in my head I was getting out in December, then I just get told you're out next week. Whereas every other sentence, I was able to go, alright, I've got 4 months left, 3 months left, 2 months left, 4 week, 3 week, 2. You can count down and prepare yourself mentally, but this you're just kind of, right, you're out next week. So I kind of got myself into the pure jail mentality. You kind of need to do it. I've done enough time in my fucking life, I can kind of get myself in that mindset. Like, you're in the jail, nothing outside doesn't fucking exist. This is your world. You know what I mean? You just need to you're in here till you're out. There's no point in thinking about fucking, you could be doing this and that. You're not doing it. You're here. You know what I mean? And the time will do itself. You just need to be present. So you need to get yourself in this kind of mentality and accept it. So see when you're not kind of preparing yourself to come back out, it's fucking a weird feeling, because I just got out and it just didn't feel real. Plus, on top of that, the day I got out, I was smoking green, so I'm like, that combination probably wasn't the smartest fucking trick in the book. So so I had to get a few days. I was wanting to get back and hit the ground running, see and do my podcast and that, but I'd let one of my pals stay in my house whilst I was in the jail. He split up with his bird and that. And I think the cunt turned it into a fucking brothel or something, man. She wanted to see the fucking night of the place. A fucking brothel fucking smashing up house. It was upside down. Apparently it had been tidied. You would have seen a nick. My bed was covered in discharge. My fucking plates were missing. The place was upside down. So first time I was out of jail, every time I've got out of jail, I've either went to stay with my mum or my dad. This time I had my own house to go back to, which was a fucking nightmare. Because I had to clean my own gap for like 4 months. Like fucking peppers had melted in the fridge and fused to the plastic and all that shit. Oh, there was flies and is it bottle flies or whatever the fuck? There'd be tiny flies. It was fucking manky, man. 90 quid in the gas meter. That was enough fucking boot in the boys. You know what I mean? Usually I'm getting out with geared bills, man. Never get a gas bill. Fucking, I know what I prefer. But aye. So I get back out and I felt a bit of a drama queen. Oh, fucking, I need to get used to the fucking, the wind in my body, the rain in my face, mate. I've been in 4 months. Get it together. So and I kinda, obviously, but in a jail, you get everything done for you. You get all your food made for you, your laundry done for you, you know what I mean? Everything, only thing you really do for yourself is walking. That's about it, and fucking brushing your teeth. So, coming back outside, you've got responsibility, you need to get money coming in. Plus, on top of that, having your own house. So, you have to do all that. Then I was about to get back today and everything pronto, but I was like, I'm going to just fucking kind of bleed this in gently, man. I don't want to fucking take on too much at once. So, that's how I was getting right back to things right away. So, I was doing just wee bits and bobs. I went and get my studio set up, because obviously the studio I was sharing in the bars. During the time I was in jail, my 2 pals were left to pay it, and it was a bit dear. So I just says, look, just fire all the shit in my spare room, use that as a studio. So they've done that, man, and I've ended up with it. Now I've got a studio in my spare room. See, fucking need to think ahead. So now I've got a studio. So it worked out well. So to be honest, it was a fucking blessing getting to jail, because I'd just fucking gone back to the bars back and forth. Plus as well, if I'd been out in the tag, I wouldn't have been able to go to that studio. Or I would have been a cunt trying to get back and forth for time. So I've just been in here plodding away, working on able and that kind of shit, doing my fucking sketches and shit like that. But my producer, if he's watching it now, if you're watching, you filthy midget brown bastard. I say brown, he's tanned, he's been hitting the sunbeds, he's white, he's for Paisley Renfrew. That was not a racial joke, because he takes Melanotan. Matt, comment, aye. I don't want to edit this. I don't want to edit that out. Please don't fucking make it something it's not meant to be. I'm not even famous yet. Try and no cancel, is that? Aye. But aye. My Renfrewian friends decided to flee the country. I don't know why. I think he fucking panicked when he seen I get to jail. I think he must have thought I get to jail for something else and he was next. Because he fucked off to Portugal and he's still there. He's still there. He went in pursuit of the Brazilian babes. Whilst I was in fucking Berlin looking at hairy arses. And then guess who had the better time? But he's away to Brazil, Portugal, wherever the fuck he is, the fucking selfish bastard. He's left me with a podcast to run. So I've not got a producer. So that's why I'm sitting talking to you myself. I would ideally like to have had some cunt in that couch next days. I could probably do it, but I do need a producer involved, because I can't be fucked doing all the editing. I really can't. It's not that I can't be fucked. I've just see if it was the only thing I was doing, I would do it. But I've got my music because I'm producing my own music now. I'm doing sketches and that. I'm producing them. I'm out filming shit. I've got the show. I've got Bams to the Slaughter 28th of January coming up. I need to promote that, sell the tickets for that. So I've got a lot to do. So that's something I really would love to delegate that to some cunt. So if anybody's watching this would like to be a producer, it's fucking easy. You just need to be fucking willing and patient. If you're looking for a wage money, I cannot promise you. Well, I could promise you money, because it's obviously only a matter of time for us start to get sponsors and that. We could probably come to some sort of arrangement. And as I say, you're not doing much. You're really just fucking putting a couple of pieces together and making a saw, a jig one. But I want to get the podcast back up and running. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed talking to people. That's what I realised. I just ended up doing this. I didn't even plan to be like the fucking host of a podcast. The 4 days were meant to do it. The producer was one of them, Matt, and 2 other shite bags that will remain nameless. Started off as a foursome. Then when it came to putting the videos out, 2 of them pulled out and left me and Matt. And Matt decided he didn't want to be in camera, so I just ended up being the host. He wanted to be the producer. So now he's fucked off and I'm everything. I am Premeditated Patter. Would you believe that? I even fucking named it. This is like a dog. This is my dog, bitch. I know his name, motherfucker. I gave him it. So this is my baby. And I'm going to nurture it. I'm going to care for it. It will suck for my teat and mine alone. And it will grow into a handsome young man with 4 motors and 2 birds in a go that don't even know about each other, that don't give him any dramas. Aye, wait till you see it. Wait till you see it. But aye, so the future's bright. I'm going to get back to the podcast, so if you think of any guests that might be ideal to sit on my pink couch, then make sure and mention them in the comments. It's been beautiful talking to yous. I'm Hawaii Fivo. Goodbye.